Let's start with a widely debated topic. 1. Walt Disney's alleged connections with anti-Semitic and racist ideologies. Over the years, accusations have surfaced about his supposed ties to groups that promoted discriminatory beliefs. Historical evidence shows that Disney attended meetings of organizations like the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, a group that some claimed held far-right sympathies. While it's important to note that no direct evidence confirms Disney's personal embrace of such views, his involvement with these groups has fueled speculation. Biographers and historians have debated whether these associations reflected Walt's personal beliefs or were merely strategic moves to protect his studio during a politically charged era. The truth, as always, lies in the gray areas of history. Then, there's the issue of racial representation in Disney's early works. Films like Dumbo, 1941, included the infamous Jim Crow character, a not-so-subtle reference to the discriminatory Jim Crow laws of the United States. The portrayal of the Crows, with their exaggerated mannerisms and dialects, have drawn criticism for perpetuating harmful racial stereotypes. Similarly, Song of the South, 1946, while groundbreaking for its innovative blend of live action and animation, is now infamous for its romanticized depiction of the antebellum South. This era was marked by the prevalent practice of slavery and the associated societal norms it cultivated. The character of Uncle Remus, central to the film, has been both celebrated for his wisdom and criticized for being a relic of minstrel stereotypes. Disney has since distanced itself from the film, refusing to release it on modern streaming platforms, acknowledging the controversy it stirs. But controversies surrounding Walt Disney were not limited to what appeared on the screen. Behind the scenes, the company's labor practices also sparked significant outrage. In 1941, Disney faced one of the most challenging moments in his career, the animators' strike. At the time, Walt Disney Productions had become a powerhouse in animation, yet many animators felt their hard work went unrecognized. Pay disparities, long hours, and lack of credit on films led to mounting frustration. Eventually, animators took their grievances public, staging a strike that disrupted the company's operations. Walt Disney, deeply offended by what he perceived as betrayal, reportedly labeled some of the strikers as communists, reflecting the heightened fear of communism during the era. The strike ended after federal mediation, but it left lasting scars, both on the animators who felt undervalued and on Disney, whose trust in his staff was reportedly shaken. Another often overlooked facet of Disney's legacy involves his depiction of gender roles and cultural stereotypes. In many of the early Disney films, female characters were confined to limited roles. They were often portrayed as damsels in distress, awaiting rescue by a heroic prince. Take Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty. Each of these characters followed a similar narrative arc. Critics have pointed out that these portrayals reflected the social norms of their time, but modern audiences often view them as outdated and problematic. Similarly, cultural portrayals in films like Peter Pan, 1953, have come under scrutiny. The depiction of Native Americans in the song "What Made the Red Man Red" is now considered highly offensive, serving as a stark reminder of the biases that shaped early Hollywood storytelling. It's also worth noting that Walt Disney was an ambitious businessman who faced his fair share of corporate challenges. His approach to competition and intellectual property has been a topic of discussion. For instance, Disney's tendency to adapt public domain stories, such as fairy tales and folklore, into animated features helped cement his legacy. However, some critics argue that his company's later aggressive protection of its intellectual property rights, most notably the extended copyright on Mickey Mouse, stands in contrast to its origins of adapting freely available stories. Despite these controversies, it's essential to approach Walt Disney's legacy with nuance. He was, after all, a product of his time, a time when societal norms and attitudes were vastly different from those of today. While his actions and choices may seem questionable through a modern lens, they also reflect the complexities of navigating the entertainment industry during the mid-20th century. Moreover, it's important to recognize the undeniable contributions he made to animation, storytelling, and global culture. Disney's innovations, from synchronized sound in Steamboat Willie to the development of Disneyland, changed the world of entertainment forever. As we dig deeper into the Disney empire, one thing becomes clear. Walt Disney's story is just the beginning. The company he built has secrets of its own that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. And with that, let's move on to our next revelation: hidden messages in Disney's classic films. 2. Hidden messages in classic films. Have you ever wondered if there's more to your favorite Disney movies than meets the eye? For decades, fans and critics alike have claimed that Disney's classic films contain hidden messages, some whimsical, others controversial. Whether they were intentional Easter eggs or pure coincidences, these alleged messages have sparked debates, theories, and even moral outrage. Let's start with one of the most talked about examples: The Lion King, 1994. There's a famous scene where Simba collapses on a cliff, causing a cloud of dust to rise into the night sky. Some viewers insist that the dust forms the letters SEX, a claim that went viral long before the internet became a household staple. Disney quickly dismissed the accusation, stating that the letters actually spell SFX, a nod to the special effects team. While the explanation seems reasonable, the controversy left an indelible mark, making the scene one of the most dissected moments in animated film history. Another infamous example is The Little Mermaid, 1989. When the film was released on VHS, sharp-eyed viewers noticed what appeared to be a phallic shape hidden in the castle on the cover art. This discovery ignited rumors that a disgruntled artist had deliberately included the inappropriate detail as an act of rebellion. Disney denied the allegations, claiming it was an unintentional design oversight. However, the artwork was quietly revised for future releases, fueling conspiracy theories among fans and collectors. But hidden messages aren't limited to provocative imagery. Some are playful and self-referential, offering nods to Disney's vast creative universe. For example, animators often include iconic characters in unrelated films as Easter eggs. Aladdin, 1992, features a cameo from Sebastian, Crab from The Little Mermaid, while Frozen, 2013, includes a subtle appearance by Rapunzel and Flynn Rider from Tangled, 2010. These cleverly placed characters have delighted eagle-eyed fans and reinforced the interconnected magic of the Disney universe. However, not all hidden elements in Disney films are so innocent. Take Fantasia, 1940, a groundbreaking artistic achievement that faced backlash for its depiction of a character named Sunflower, a black centaur servant attending to elegant white centaurs. Critics condemned the character as a racist caricature, perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Disney later removed Sunflower's scenes from future releases, but the controversy remains a stark reminder of the prejudices embedded in early Hollywood productions. These edits, while necessary, also open up discussions about how art reflects the biases of its time and the responsibility of modern studios to confront their past. Disney's history with hidden messages extends beyond its films and into its marketing materials. For instance, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 1988, a collaboration between Disney and Amblin Entertainment, is known for its edgy humor and boundary-pushing content. Yet, some scenes were accused of containing inappropriate visuals that were only visible when paused. Even as the studio distances itself from some controversies, fans continue to uncover new details in old favorites. Thanks to digital streaming and high-definition resolution, viewers can now pause, rewind, and analyze every frame of a film. Urban legends about Disney films often spiral out of control, fueled by overactive imaginations and the internet's endless appetite for conspiracy theories. This duality, where art is both deliberate and subject to interpretation, keeps audiences engaged and intrigued. So what's the truth about Disney's hidden messages? Are they clever nods to the creative team, deliberate provocations, or mere coincidences blown out of proportion? Whatever the case, these mysteries remind us that Disney's magic isn't just on the surface. It's in the layers of detail that keep us coming back, searching for more. The film's ability to spark curiosity and debate is part of what makes them timeless. Speaking of hidden details, the story of Disney's internal struggles is just as fascinating as what appears on the big screen. Next, we'll explore the darker side of the company's labor history, a tale of ambition, conflict, and transformation. 3. Disney's troubled labor history. Behind the dazzling animations and heartwarming stories lies a history of labor struggles that few fans ever hear about. Disney's meteoric rise in the entertainment world wasn't without conflict, and the company's labor history reveals a darker side to its pursuit of perfection. Let's begin with the 1941 Disney Animators strike, a pivotal event in the company's history. By the early 1940s, Walt Disney Productions had become a household name, with hits like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937, and Pinocchio, 1940, solidifying its reputation for groundbreaking animation. But behind the scenes, animators were facing long hours, low pay, and a lack of recognition for their work. While Walt Disney himself was revered as a creative genius, his management style left much to be desired. The animators who brought his visions to life often felt undervalued, with little acknowledgement for their artistry. As we mentioned before, the tensions came to a head in 1941 when the Screen Cartoonists Guild, led by Herb Sorrell, organized a strike against Disney. Walt Disney, feeling deeply embittered, reportedly blacklisted some of the participants and became increasingly wary of his employees. The event marked a turning point in Disney's history, exposing the growing pains of a company transitioning from a small studio to a global empire. But the labor disputes didn't end with the 1941 strike. Over the decades, Disney's treatment of its workers, especially those in its theme parks, has faced ongoing criticism. In the 1980s, Disneyland employees, known as cast members, staged protests over low wages and harsh working conditions. Despite the park's image as the happiest place on earth, workers reported grueling schedules, strict dress codes, and limited opportunities for advancement. These protests highlighted a growing disparity between the magical experiences Disney promised its guests and the realities faced by its employees. In more recent years, the issue of labor relations at Disney has become even more prominent. Reports of low pay and difficult working conditions for Disneyland employees made national headlines in the 2010s. Some cast members shared harrowing stories of living out of their cars or struggling to afford basic necessities due to the high cost of living near the parks. A 2018 study revealed that nearly 3/4 of Disneyland employees struggled to meet basic living expenses, sparking outrage among fans and labor advocates. The findings prompted Disney to announce wage increases for park workers, but critics argue that these measures were long overdue and insufficient given the company's immense profits. Another aspect of Disney's labor controversies involves its reliance on outsourced labor. Like many multinational corporations, Disney manufactures much of its merchandise in factories located in countries with lower labor costs. Investigations into these factories have uncovered allegations of unsafe working conditions, long hours, and exploitative practices. For example, reports of underpaid workers producing Disney-branded toys and clothing have surfaced over the years, tarnishing the company's reputation as a leader in corporate social responsibility. While Disney has implemented programs to monitor its supply chain and improve factory conditions, critics argue that the company could do more to ensure fair treatment of workers globally. The challenges extend beyond its parks and merchandise. In recent years, Disney's streaming services and film divisions have also faced scrutiny for their labor practices. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many employees across the entertainment industry raised concerns about working conditions, pay cuts, and the company's handling of layoffs. These issues underscored the tension between Disney's status as a beloved cultural icon and its role as a profit-driven corporation. Disney's labor history serves as a stark reminder that even the most magical brands are built by real people, many of whom face significant struggles behind the scenes. It's easy to get swept away by the enchantment of Disney's stories, but the company's history reveals a more complex narrative, one that includes ambition, conflict, and the pursuit of fairness. As we continue uncovering the hidden truths of Disney, the next chapter takes us to its theme parks, the crown jewels of the Disney empire. Beneath the castles and rides lies a history of accidents, urban legends, and unsettling secrets that reveal yet another layer of the company's story. 4. Dark stories behind theme parks. Disney theme parks are often called the happiest place on earth, but behind the sparkling castles and thrilling rides lies a history filled with controversies, urban legends, and unsettling truths. Beneath the cheerful surface of these parks are stories that reveal a darker side of their history, stories that many visitors never hear about. One of the most persistent urban legends revolves around the original Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. When the attraction opened in 1967, Disney Imagineers reportedly used real human skeletons to make the scenes look more authentic. At the time, medical skeletons were commonly used in educational and scientific settings, making this decision less shocking than it might seem today. However, over the years, the real skeletons were gradually replaced with artificial replicas. Despite this, rumors persist that at least one real skeleton remains hidden in the ride, a chilling reminder of its eerie past. Disney has never officially confirmed this, but the legend continues to fascinate and unsettle visitors, adding a macabre twist to one of the park's most beloved attractions. Beyond the legends, Disney's parks have a history of accidents and tragedies that challenge their image of perfection. One of the most notorious incidents occurred in 1974 at Disneyland's America Sings attraction. A cast member, Deborah Gale Stone, tragically lost her life after being caught between a rotating wall and a stationary platform. The incident was a wake-up call for Disney, prompting a re-evaluation of safety protocols across its parks. Similarly, the Matterhorn bobsleds ride has been the site of multiple fatal accidents, including a 1984 incident in which a guest was thrown from the ride after unbuckling their seatbelt. These tragedies, while rare, underscore the inherent risks of operating high-speed attractions. Then there are the ghost stories. Many Disney employees and guests have reported strange, unexplained phenomena within the parks, particularly at Disneyland. The Haunted Mansion ride is a hotspot for these tales. Employees have described hearing footsteps and whispers after hours, and some even refuse to work alone in certain areas of the attraction. One of the most chilling stories involves a mother who allegedly spread her son's ashes on the Haunted Mansion ride without permission. Since then, guests and employees have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a young boy crying in the attraction. Whether these accounts are true or simply the result of overactive imaginations, they add an unsettling layer to the park's already spooky attractions. Cultural representation within the parks has also been a source of controversy. Attractions like the Jungle Cruise and It's a Small World have faced criticism for perpetuating outdated stereotypes. For instance, the Jungle Cruise originally featured caricatured depictions of indigenous people, which many found offensive. In response, Disney announced a revamp of the attraction to remove these elements and incorporate a more respectful portrayal of different cultures. The parks have also been a focal point for debates over accessibility and inclusivity. While Disney has made significant strides in accommodating guests with disabilities, some critics argue that more could be done to make the parks truly inclusive. These challenges highlight the ongoing tension between Disney's goal of creating a magical experience for everyone and the logistical realities of running massive, complex theme parks. While Disney works hard to maintain its reputation as a family-friendly destination, these darker stories remind us that even the most magical places are not without their shadows. From urban legends about human skeletons to real-life tragedies, the park's history is far more complex than the pristine image they project. As we move forward, we'll uncover the final dark secret of Disney, its far-reaching influence over the media we consume and the narratives we believe. Let's take a closer look at how Disney's immense power shapes not just entertainment, but culture itself. 5. Disney's control over media. Disney is more than just a company, it's a cultural behemoth. Over the decades, it has grown from an animation studio into one of the most powerful media empires in the world. But with such influence comes scrutiny, and many have raised questions about the extent of Disney's control over the stories we consume and the narratives that shape our culture. To understand Disney's dominance, let's start with its acquisitions. In the last 2 decades, Disney has acquired major companies that were once its competitors, including Pixar in 2006, Marvel Entertainment in 2009, Lucasfilm, and with it, the Star Wars franchise, in 2012 and 21st Century Fox in 2019. Each of these deals expanded Disney's reach, giving it control over some of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history. Today, Disney owns everything from the Avengers to Star Wars to The Simpsons, effectively turning it into a media juggernaut with influence over almost every aspect of pop culture. Critics argue that Disney's acquisitions raise serious concerns about media monopolization. This consolidation has given Disney unparalleled control over content distribution and production, raising concerns about what stories get told and whose voices get amplified or silenced. Beyond acquisitions, Disney's control extends to how stories are told. The company has a reputation for sanitizing narratives to align with its family-friendly brand. For instance, many of Disney's animated classics are adaptations of darker tales from folklore and literature. The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame are all significantly softened versions of their original stories, with darker or more tragic elements removed. While this approach has helped Disney maintain its wholesome image, it has also sparked debates about the company's tendency to simplify complex themes, sometimes at the cost of authenticity. Disney's influence isn't just limited to the big screen. It extends into news, streaming platforms, and theme parks, creating an ecosystem that reinforces its narratives. Disney's ownership of ABC and its majority stake in Hulu allow the company to shape how news and entertainment are delivered to millions of viewers. Meanwhile, Disney Plus has emerged as a dominant force in the streaming world, offering exclusive access to Disney's massive content library. This control over both traditional and digital media has positioned Disney as a gatekeeper of entertainment, giving it the power to dictate trends, limit competition, and control pricing. But perhaps the most controversial aspect of Disney's media dominance is its aggressive approach to intellectual property, IP. Disney is infamous for lobbying for changes to copyright law that benefit its own interests. In the United States, the term Mickey Mouse Protection Act is often used to describe the Copyright Term Extension Act of 1998, which extended copyright terms just as Mickey Mouse was about to enter the public domain. Critics argue that this move prioritized corporate profits over the public's access to cultural works, setting a precedent for other companies to follow. Another area where Disney's influence has faced criticism is its global reach. As Disney films and theme parks spread across the world, they bring with them Western ideals and cultural norms that can overshadow local traditions. The global popularity of Disney princesses, for example, has shaped perceptions of beauty and gender roles, often promoting Eurocentric standards. While Disney has made strides to diversify its characters and stories, most notably with films like Black Panther, Moana, and Encanto, some argue that these efforts don't fully address the deeper issues of cultural homogenization that come with Disney's global dominance. Disney's immense power also gives it significant leverage over public perception. The company has been accused of downplaying or suppressing negative stories about itself, such as controversies related to labor practices, political lobbying, and environmental impact. Disney's carefully curated image as a purveyor of magic and joy often overshadows these criticisms, allowing the company to maintain its status as a beloved global brand. So what does Disney's media dominance mean for us as consumers? On one hand, the company has created some of the most beloved and influential stories of our time. Its films and characters have brought joy to billions, and its commitment to technological innovation has transformed the entertainment industry. On the other hand, Disney's overwhelming presence raises questions about the future of creativity, competition, and the diversity of voices in entertainment. Disney's story is a testament to the power of storytelling, but it's also a reminder of how much influence a single company can have over culture. Disney is more than just a company. It's a reflection of the stories we hold dear and the power they wield over our imaginations. From its enchanting fairy tales to its towering corporate influence, Disney has shaped the way we dream, connect, and consume. But with great power comes great responsibility, and Disney's history reveals the complexities of maintaining its magical image while navigating controversies, cultural shifts, and corporate dominance. The question we're left with is this: Can one company be the custodian of so much cultural power without compromising creativity, authenticity, or accountability? Disney's journey from a small animation studio to a global empire is a testament to the power of storytelling, but it's also a reminder of the importance of questioning the stories we're told and the forces behind them. As much as Disney brings joy and wonder to billions, it also challenges us to think critically about the narratives that shape our world. So the next time you watch a Disney film or visit one of its parks, take a moment to look beyond the magic. Behind every castle, every princess, and every smile lies a story of innovation, ambition, and yes, imperfection. Because even in the most magical places, shadows exist, and it's in those shadows that the most interesting stories are found. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribe for more compelling stories you don't want to miss. We are Freak Files channel that bring dark history and mysteries to life via documentary. And remember, magic is powerful, but the truth is even more compelling.